subscribe our channel. Stay till the end of the stories for more twist and turn. Comment us about what kind of stories you like to hear. Disclaimer: the channel is not in any kind of support or link to behavior, remarks, statements, feeling, decisions or any kind of emotions in the stories. My 25 female sister, 20 female, cheated on her boyfriend, 26 male, with an older man, 35 male, she met when she was 17. No one seems to want to tell the boyfriend the truth. I want to. Also, the older guy is a creep, and it's a total shit show. Help. Oh boy, where do I even start? This is a fucking long one, so grab a beverage. On mobile. Important backstory: my sister is well liked most everywhere she goes. She is a bright energy and is incredibly talented, well known in her community. However, she has almost no friends. She is workaholic and works at least 2 jobs at a time. She is beautiful and has an obvious sex appeal. She knows it. She has the kind of energy that affects an entire household. If she's happy, then you'll feel it. If she's pissy, she is a tornado of angst and negativity. She can be very loving and warm or mean-spirited and nasty. She has mental health issues with depression and anxiety with terrible episodes. Deaf issues with self-worth. Now, my sister, A, is an actress and was 17 years old when she was cast in a 2-person play with a 33-year-old man, let's call him J. She was in a relationship with R, 17M, at the time. They get along well enough and Jay starts to offer to carpool home and she takes him up on it. This goes on for a while and they form a friendship. My folks meet him and he seems like a nice guy, happy that he can give her ride. She turns 18. He pounces. Confides in Jay about her relationship, wanting advice on these car rides. Jay tells her men under 30 can't love. Jay tells her that he and his wife are separated. Jay takes his 2 little girls to my sister's second job to meet her. Jay tells her how mature she is. How her mind is more beautiful than the body boys are after. My folks notice that this man is spending too much time with A and feel uncomfortable with the friendship. They ask A to cut contact and tell Jay to leave her alone. He apologizes and says he will cut contact. He allegedly does. A starts lying to my parents and her BF about where she is. Jay is picking her up and taking her on dates. Slow dancing with her, romancing her, going to the beach. She tells me this is the first time she has ever felt love and is so happy and that he sees her for who she is. He sees her as a person and not a sex object. He daydreams with her about running away to a different country and raising his daughters with her. They make out a lot and there is oral sex, but no POV. This is the first time she actually enjoys a sexual encounter. I know all of this info because she tells me as it happens and makes me promise not to tell my folks. I live across the country from my family, was visiting home in time for the shitstorm. Red flags are falling from the sky, Cupid in my stomach. Fuck. I try to talk sense into her as not only is she cheating, but this man is 15 years her senior and is obviously emotionally manipulative and preying on her. She is my baby sister. I see that no amount of conversation is reaching her. I reach out to Jay's wife wanting blow this shit open. Impulsively I even message Jay, he blocks me. Jay's wife replies saying they are not separated nor divorced and have only had a couple of marital problems, so this is a blindside and that she cannot wait to divorce him now. She is insanely gracious, saying that Jay is charming and manipulative and he shouldn't be preying on young girls instead of handling the issues in his marriage, and that she would love to speak with A. I tell my folks what's happening, then I take A for a walk and tell her. She breaks down completely, pissed at Jay for lying to her. Horrified that she probably broke up a family. She's a bit mad at me for interfering, but otherwise more upset at him. Jay ceases speaking to her. She tells me that she knew he was a jerk and manipulative and only wanted to get in her pants. She breaks up with her BF at the time without telling him what went down. She later tells him over the phone. I try to tell my folks that she should be put into therapy, But they don't believe in just talking to other people. They say she learned her lesson and she just needs some time to heal and learn. We get in arguments about it and that's all it is. I leave my hometown to fly back home. Story: 2 years later, my sister is now 20. She has her own car, works as a personal assistant and nanny for a nearby family and has a massive following on TikTok, lots of showy dancey videos. The pandemic has triggered her mental health, but work, TikTok and her BF are helping her get through it. She is showing signs of narcissism and BPD. She is 6 months into a relationship with a lovely man, D. He is kind, gentle, patient and understanding. One of the best people she has ever dated. We are thrilled that she has found someone so good for her. They were friends for years and finally, a spark was lit when I pursued him. He gets incredibly close with my family and especially my little brother. They take him on family vacations, the whole 9 yards. One conversation with him, hell, one look at his Instagram and you can tell he is totally in love with my sister. On social media, their relationship is all love. Posts about growing old together, having children and buying houses. When I speak with A on the phone, she complains about D all the time. He's too clingy, too insecure, too needy. He's not ambitious enough. When I speak to my mom, she worries that A doesn't treat D very well. That she is rude and impatient. That she doesn't love him the same way, pushing him away. She worries about him. I tell A on the phone that maybe they don't have the same values and as a result may not last long term and she should think about letting him go. She vaguely agrees. This past week around 1 am I receive a panicked text from my mom saying that A hasn't been heard from after work at 9:45 p.m. and her phone seems to be off and it has been a few hours. I told my father that she would be staying at D's place. Meanwhile D later texts my brother wondering if A made it home. Apparently I hadn't spoke to him most of the day. We freak out as this isn't like her. My folks file a missing persons report. I call hospitals for Jane Doe from across the country. We are up all night calling her employer and others. When around 6 a.m. my mother receives one text message from her. I'm coming home. Of course, we are all relieved that she is alive and well. She comes home with full makeup and hair done, as my mother tells me, which is odd. She cries and apologizes profusely for worrying us. She tells us how after speaking to my dad, she spoke to her boss and her boss offered her the guest room if she needed a place to sleep. Apparently she took it and her phone was put on airplane mode and she fell asleep with her makeup on, forgetting to tell anyone where she was. Oops. Something seems off about it all. So I ask for the story again. This time she says her phone was at 2% and she plugged it in and fell asleep. I call her out on it and she backpedals saying both happened. She plugged her phone in and then put it on airplane mode. B. My parents tell her that they contacted her employer and wonder if they'll back her up. My sister runs to her room to call her employer. Said employer messages my folks back immediately after saying, "Looks like A spoke with you. Glad she's safe." Then a series of events happen. 1. She heads to another shift at work that day. My father decides to message the employer's husband to confirm A's story. The husband tells us that A left their home at 4:30 p.m. 2. My parents confront her when she comes home. She tells our parents that, obviously he didn't know I came back. My folks push back, wondering if there is anything she wants to come clean about. She says yes and reveals that. 3. At some point in the day, she went dark. She had spoken to Jay on the phone. Apparently he had reached out to her on a new social media profile under a different name, Creepy, apologizing for his behavior and she wanted closure, so they spoke for a couple hours. 4. She relays this same story to D. 5. The next day my mom, my brother, my other sister, her boyfriend, A and D all go out shopping and eating together. Don't even get me started on the COVID. They promise that they are being super safe. 6. I find out from my mom that A never told D about the fact that she has cheated in a past relationship with the very man she was on the phone with the day she went dark. This pisses me off and I am certain that she is lying, got her employer to cover her and she spent the night with Jay. I tell my folks that I think she needs therapy ASAP and encourage her to cut things off with D. 7. While the family is out, my father decides to get more details from the employer's husband. The husband clearly states that no, she did not stay the night. 8. That evening my folks confront her. She finally admits that Jay invited her over, that they spoke, kissed and then slept together. She flips out thinking they are gonna tell D. She flips out over the fact that I know what's happening and vows to never confide in me again. She tells them that she knows she needs help because she doesn't feel much remorse. That she has thoughts she doesn't like. She also says that she feels repulsed anytime D touches her and is easily annoyed by his affection. She's upset about how awkward things will be with her employer now. 9. My mother spends the next morning calling around to set up consultations with therapists for her. They find a great one and A has a wonderful consultation with one she clicks with. Thing is, she has not told her BF what happened, and does not want to dump him. My folks don't want to tell him either as it will break his heart because he has been cheated on before. It's up to 8 to tell him, it's not our place and we gotta take it day by day. I feel that this is because my family loves him and deep down they don't want to lose him as a possible silly and it infuriates me. Every passing day we are complicit in a big lie and it's appalling. So I told them that if no one plans on telling him the truth I will. Of course they blew up at me telling me how all I care about is that and how I don't care about his mental health and what it would do to her to face that, how it would break her. That I have to trust that she will do it and they just know that she will do it. That D is so amazing that he got over his anger when she told him they spoke on the phone. He will probably stand by her anyway after this. This made me livid. Me, yeah, well maybe if he knew from the beginning that she cheated on a previous boyfriend he would have reacted differently and we wouldn't feel compelled to be complicit in a lie. Mom, indignant noises. You think he will just say fuck you to her and bounce if he knew? I think this is terrible too. I feel torn up about it. It isn't fair to him and she has to tell him and she will, but how could you say that? Me, how do you know she will tell him the truth? How do you know she won't tell what you want to hear? What if she is still talking to Jay? Who knows what he is saying to her? Mom, if you tell D, you may not have a relationship with A again. Honestly, at this point, she has lied at every turn and it seems as if there is no timeline to alert D of the truth of what happened that night. On top of everything, my sister continues to make comments that worry me concerning her relationship to Jay and I just want to slap him silly. It is clear as day that she still has strong feelings for him while not wanting to lose D. It's a mess and I've decided that if a week from now no one has told D the truth, I will. Also, fuck this 35-year-old man who continues to pursue my baby sister and I'm worried only therapy will get her to see what a creep he is. However, my folks are ready to kick her out of the house, because they cannot handle her combative, antagonistic attitude around the house and don't know how to keep Jay away as he has already got into her head. They think she may need to make her own mistakes and hit rock bottom. Any thoughts? I'm exhausted and at a loss. My only plan is A. Speak to her directly tomorrow as all of this info I know primarily via my mother's account. B. Have my close friend, who went through a similar situation with an older married man when she was 20, write a letter to her to help her see reason. I want her to understand that the foundation of their relationship, the darkness and lies and secrets and such a power dynamic ... is no foundation for a loving, healthy relationship. She cannot possibly be ready to be a stepmother to 2 young children. That she needs a hiatus from social media to do self-healing and inner work. That she needs to tell D the truth and face the consequences. Instead she is continuing to post on TikTok and hang out with her BF as if nothing happened. I am so worried for my baby sister. She needs serious help. She is starting therapy, but I'm worried that it will take months before she tells D. If she ever does. I'm worried that she is still talking to this man. I'm worried about what will happen if they do make her leave soon. My folks are at a loss. Totally fed up and I'm not even in the same state. Thoughts or advice? Thanks for making it this far. I can provide more details, just ask. TL, Doctor, my baby sister had an affair with a married man at 18 years old. It happens again 2 years later with the same man, now divorced. My folks are so worried for her mental health that they are very reluctant to tell her boyfriend the truth, for fear of the emotional fallout, and say she needs to be the one do it. Eventually. I think this is shitty af and tell them that if they don't tell him the truth soon, I will. They think I'm a heartless asshole to take this stance and that's totally not my business or place. Meanwhile, she continues to post on TikTok and hang out with her BF. Most likely still in contact with this older man. At this point, my folks seem ready to just kick her out and let her deal with her problems that way. They live across the country. WTF do I do? Am I wrong? Wow, that was an incredible read and I'm sorry this is all happening to you. You're definitely the sane one there and in no way in any wrong. Yeah, she should have definitely been in therapy earlier, but now your parents are seeing the results of their fault of not doing so earlier. Her boyfriend definitely needs to know, you're right there. I don't think your sister realizes there are consequences to her actions. Sure, it might affect her mental health, but obviously the situation has got to this extreme. I wonder how possible it would be to force no contact between your sister and Jay, but yeah, it's definitely a sticky situation. First thing I'd do is get her therapists, hopefully psychologist. Email and tell her all of the things your sister has done. Because they probably have no idea since they only get the info that she gives them and she obviously lies constantly. I would absolutely tell D, he deserves to know that she's cheated in a previous relationship and that she has cheated on him, but please be extremely gentle while doing so. It will 100% make your sister, and parents, hate you for a while, but they will get over it with time and realize it was necessary. Do you know for sure if Jay's wife got divorced? I'd check into this, and if he is still married then contact the wife again. He is disgusting. He groomed your sister from day one and waited until she turned 18 to try and get in her pants. He is absolutely mentally and emotionally abusing her sister as well as creating a power play and manipulate her to get whatever he wants. Your sister can't see it right now, but she needs help. It is so hard to break free from a relationship like this. She doesn't see herself as a victim, being manipulated because A, she won't admit that this is happening to her, and B, he hasn't physically abused her, that you know of. Once the rose-colored glass, she would see that he is just a pile of shit in the shape of a man. I know it's exhausting and annoying, but please don't give up on her. Thanks for listening so far. If story have update we will post here. Like and subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.